Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Hello, everyone, and welcome in today. How are we all doing? Really, all-star. Okay. Hello, Yami. Hi, Looney. Hi, Sally. Got stuff to do. No worries, Sally. No worries. Hi, Hyper, Nia, Mego, and hi, Gwenny. How y'all doing today? Oh, hello, Rats. How you doing today? Welcome in, everyone. So, as you can tell, we got a big day behind us. In front of us? Is there an ad going right now? Cool. Hi, TMNT. My day's going pretty good. I have been very anxious waiting for the stream today. Because I have a lot to do. There's a lot to cover. As well, I've got a huge day ahead of me. I've got D&D after this. I'm going out to get some piercings. So, that's fun. But yes, we're going to spend a little bit of time just letting people come in. There's no rush. We're just going to do a little bit of chatting as we wait for people to flounder in. That's not the right word. Flounder is not... I don't think that's a verb. Not the right one, anyway. Oh, hi, Chance. How you doing? Welcome in. This is gonna be a day. Because I have never taught before, so I hope I'm not gonna bumble it up. I do want to provide some very quality information here. Is education even a thing? In Twitch, I should clarify. Also, I need to get those ducks out of here. 4 hours of sleep. That's fair. Education is a thing. I think I'm gonna just leave it on my thing. And ducks. Yeah, those were the ducks that were plaguing my house. They're gone now. Yeah, I don't even have to press update. It's Saturday night. I got no day, a 2-liter bottle of Shasta, and an all Rush mixtape. Fuck yeah. I love Futurama. Why? This is why I don't understand Chihuahuas. They freak out at the smallest thing. Hi, TMNT. I already answered you, bud. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, congratulations, rats. Hey, Robbie. Shenanigans, huh? Yeah. I hope you have at least a good sleep. Like, don't worry. This is gonna be a VOD. I don't know if it'll be a video, but it will be a VOD. So even if you miss it, don't worry, you still can watch. Oh, hello! It's Butch, right? I'm trying to make sure I remember this. You're supposed to have Windows. No worries. No worries whatsoever. Sorry for my wrist cracking. I'm in my 30s. Double-sided cards. Creepshow keeps trying to get me into like Magic the Gathering, and it's eh. It looks fun. I'm not smart. I don't think I could get it. You're Butch. Good. I always struggle with names. I'm glad I can remember it. Okay. How much time? I got like another 2.5 minutes before I start. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff set up. I've got some links. I hope I can do a good job educating, because I know I do have a very large transgender audience, and vocal training is absolutely one of the hardest things for people. Yeah, no, exactly. Scarlett is trying to get me into the cardboard card drugs thing. She's a real pusher, let me tell you. I will also tell everyone we're gonna be a bit on high guard today, because there's been a lot of hate raiding happening lately and hate following. So just know that at any point I might turn on shield mode. You know, just for everyone's safety. But cardboard track is a hell of a... It really is. I've seen what it does to Scarlett. Her mind is gone. She thinks she's a doll. She's a zombie in the woods. Been pretty bad, completely understand. Exactly, especially I've got the word trans in the title, so I'm expecting some bad stuff. I'm prepped for the worst. I'm hoping for the best. I guess that's the best way to put it. Listen. People are stinky. I hope it doesn't come out to that. God, I hope so. I'm just trying to help people. Doesn't help that Automod is incredibly picky. Hey, Bep, how you doing? Imagine hate rating. Bro, that's cringe. It's so cringe, bro. My wrist doesn't work that good. My gay is going pretty good. She's got a job now. I'm really proud of her. One reason I don't use a trans tag is the amount of hate I got one time. Surprisingly, I've never really gotten any sort of hate for using the trans tag. I probably will be dropping it still, for personal reasons. But yeah, surprisingly, I've never gotten anything. Big ol' gloves, yes, I got the big grippers. Hello, Judo, how you doing? What do they get from it? They get to hurt someone, that's about it. Hate, I'll never, exactly. Oh, hello, T, hello, Thallium, welcome in. We are 10 minutes in. I think it's about time. So, I hope everyone likes the screen, because we're pretty much not leaving this. I really should have just put up, like, the blackboard. Or something. I should have put something I could have used. I haven't gotten that many. It's crazy. It's amazing. Like, the most I get is people who misgender me. either out of ignorance or for some reason they think my voice is masculine. And I don't have the greatest voice. I don't sound masculine. I can accept this. Okay. Okay. So, I'm not ringing a bell. I hate bells. Class is in session, everyone. Listen. Exactly. You just assume you're she, her. Honestly, it's for the best. Don't do that with everyone. But you come into my streams, me looking the way I do. Yeah, she, her works. Oh, you are. They're in the tags. No worries. At least they should be. Yeah, there. Okay. Okay, chat. Hello, Tay. Hello, welcome in. Welcome to class. You sound like a boss. I do, exactly. Hope the retro boss is doing well. I'm doing well, except for people throwing things in class. Bippo, stay after class. Your detention is 6 to 7 hours of D&D. No, I completely get it. I completely get it, Judo. Oh, now everyone wants attention. Great, I see how this is going. You're all a bunch of ruffians. You're all doing a bunch of goddamn shenanigans. Who did that? Yep. Yep. Great, now I just get to wiggle.
Echo Unbound just became a thing.
Oh, hello, Hound. Welcome in. Welcome to class. Chat, my wonderful that's my foot. My wonderful students have decided it's throw things time. It's great. Oh, so yes, I saw that chance. Thank you. The D&D character you're talking about, DM. Probably one of my favorite.
What?
One of my favorites. Foot for free. Listen, at least I got sneakers. Anyway. Hello, Akami. I'm trying not to be rude here. I do need to start. This is supposed to be a trans vocal lesson thing. you guys are distracting your ADHD teacher. Oh, hey, Scarlett, we were just talking about you and your addictions. But yeah, how you doing, Akami? Welcome in. Okay. I'm not gonna go on. I have something to do. I'm not gonna like hype up a whole like transgender voice lesson stream and then spend the entire thing completely distracted because of you goobers. I need to actually do this. Okay. Of course, you removed the vocal train redeem. Yeah, kind of. Not necessary today. Okay. Exactly. Listen, I'm gonna be reading chat. I might not respond. Enjoy your tea. I immediately just went back on what I said because I'm stupid. I am stupid and riddled with ADHD. Okay. So, when talking about transgender vocals, there are typically 3 things that we need to cover. 3. There's pitch. I'm going to use this hand. There's pitch, resonance, and eloquence. Elocution, I should say. Oh, hello, Stace. Welcome in. Welcome to class. Like I said, the big 3. Pitch, resonance, and elocution. Elocution is much more of an optional thing, so that'll be covered at the end, near the end. It's not huge, but for a lot of girls, it is very important to not only sound feminine, but speak feminine. It's a very stuck. Listen, I do actually do private voice lessons, so I think it's elocution. Are you taking notes? Why do you need to know how it's spelled? Are you taking notes? This isn't actually a thing, right? Oh my god, you're actually taking notes. Judges. Okay, fair. Hello, Goladat. Welcome in. Oh, people are actually taking notes. That's incredible. I didn't think anyone would take it that seriously. Okay, so typically, the first one we'll always start with will be pitch. I'm good, Goladat. So, typically, the first thing that we always start with is pitch. Hello, Shala. Yeah, you don't need to take notes. You can just listen to the VOD over and over and over and over. Let's be honest, I should have made a test. I really should have, just to mess with you guys. So in dealing with pitch, a good way to start, and anyone who's done musical training will know this one, because it's actually very useful, which is the scales. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But it's actually doing them properly. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's a great way because you can figure out where you start. Where your typical speaking voice starts. Start low, go high, my hand will work. I need to like scoot closer so my hands actually work. Hi Voltman, welcome in. Uh-huh. Mommy made my mash my M&Ms, I cried. I've never heard that one. That's a good one though. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but if you can manage it, it's good. I'm trying to hone my singing voice, so this is very helpful. I will be covering that in a little bit, T. I promise you that. Leap motion could be, oh, I know, it's the range, because I got short arms, despite what my model has, so I gotta really stretch. So, again, I find the scales are the very easiest one to start with. Yeah, exactly. If you know music, the scales are easy. Another one, and this one, I will say full disclosure, I should have started with this. I am not a teacher. I have no educational background. I have no educational experience. This is purely me showing what I've learned. Twitch won't let me follow? That wouldn't surprise me if Twitch is just breaking. I appreciate the intention though, Shala. I am not trained. This is not official, this is not professional. I am simply giving out the advice that I've been using, that I have received. I have received vocal training, and it cost me a lot. So I'm trying to make sure that this kind of stuff is more accessible for people like me. That's weird, Shala. I mean, if you remember me, you can always show up later. What was the second part? Right. Most of my knowledge is for training trans girls, trans feminine people. If you're trans masculine, a lot of my advice kind of just works in reverse. Like, I have been looking into it because I do want to help all my little trans brothers, or trans non-binaries who just want to change their voice. But most of my training is for trans girls. Reload worked? Oh, well, I appreciate the follow whenever it shows up. So yeah, full disclosure, I am not a trained professional. No worries, Shala. So, we were on pitch. I'm always hesitant to tell people, because the big one, the big one is always just practice. Not me here solely so I can do funny girl voices on stream. Hey, do what you want. Do what you want with this information. As long as you're using it, as long as you learned. So, another one that works really well for getting your pitch higher. This one can be much harder to do. Fully acknowledge, this one can be much harder. Especially when I'm trying to use my hands to demonstrate, and I have gigantic hands. Or evil. Also, I forgot the drink earlier. It helps with the high notes. Oh, absolutely. That's a big part of it. Okay. Besides scales, and I would say, please practice your scales. This is like a daily thing. You have to do vocal training nearly daily to get any progress. This is not a once in a while, every few weeks sort of thing. You need to actively practice. I sound the way I do after like 2 years of vocal practice. And even then, I wasn't pushing myself. I am pushing myself. 2024 is a year of me pushing. Just full on. Just pushing. I am all over the place. Exactly, you gotta keep practicing. So, the second option for pitch that I always suggest, and again, it's very hard. It's hard to maintain, I should say. It's not hard to do, it's hard to maintain. You're gonna wanna swallow, and when you feel your throat at its highest, you wanna try to hold it there. Exactly. Just know we'll hold you to that push. I know you will. So, the swallow method, I'll try to present it here. It's really, if I was doing a live camera, this would be a lot easier to show. But effectively, you're going to swallow and try to hold your throat up when you do it. So that you can get a bit higher and hold it just right up there. Because if you can hold it up here, if this is what you want, then you can work with this. It is just working to hold it. It is a lot of practice. Thank you, Luke. Welcome to class.
Became a goon.
Hope you enjoy your stay. It's funny, you bring that up, T. I am going to be talking about singing. It actually is really useful for vocal training. As for pitch, like I said, the throat method really works. It helps you learn where you need to be speaking from and really helps get your voice higher. An alternative. I don't even know if I should really teach you this. It's more of a voice actor thing. It typically only works for people who have Adam's apples, which I don't. Is you can hold your Adam's apple higher, and it'll give you a much higher pitch voice. Now again, this is mostly for voice acting, not for actual voice work. It is for voice work, but it shouldn't be for your day-to-day. One, it hurts. It really hurts. And two, that won't be your natural voice. So now that we've talked a little bit about pitch, I want to talk about the bad part. Did that once for a VA, and it's horrible. I suppose VTubing needs to help enforce it. That and misgendering. Instead of being offended, I just promptly. Oh, that's a very good way to do it. Also, I didn't know my messages had a cutoff. That's good. That's interesting to know. That's a very good way to take it. Hello, Pi. How you doing? So, the opposite end of pitch is something called Mickey Mousing, where you go way too high and you sort of sound like more of a cartoon character. That is not where you want to go. That is not realistic. That is not a human voice. Hi, Barb. Welcome in. You want a voice. Almost triggered my. Oh yeah, that's why I say don't do it. your character vibe? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Pi. Hello, Zori. How you doing? We're doing pretty good. We're just in the middle of talking about pitch. Reject tune with voice. Listen, I would strongly recommend to don't do tune. You don't want to Mickey Mouse yourself and get way too high of a voice because people won't think that this is real. Typically, you're gonna talk a little bit lower. Pi sounds like a cute nickname from your character. Aw, that's fair. Trying to think, what else? Thank you, T. I really should have written out a lesson plan or something. I want something a bit more high energy here, please. No. Okay. Okay. I told I have a soft and comforting voice. That's a good start. For real, most of the time, pitch is the easiest thing to change. It is just getting your voice higher, and a lot of people throughout their lives have always done high voices. It is the easiest thing to change. Just changing the pitch or resonance. Resonance is the hard one. Resonance is probably one of the hardest ones for people to change. We will get into that in a second. I'm not quite done with pitch. For anyone curious, this is hopefully going to be a full 2-hour stream. So, I know I can do something quite feminine, but it takes focus, so I save it for acting. What is resonance? We will be getting to that very soon, Barb. I'm told intonation. Yes. There's projection. Yes. So projection is a very important one, because a big one, especially for trans girls starting out, you tend to get a very soft-spoken voice. The problem is, you can't always be soft-spoken. Sometimes you will have to yell across a room, and you don't want to have a very soft, feminine talking voice, and then the deepest, most guttural masculine voice when you have to speak loudly. So it's about learning how to speak at volumes, which over time and practice, it gets much easier because eventually your vocal cords will start to change. Your vocal cords will start to change, and it'll make screaming and yelling much easier. Exactly, the cartoony shift yell, sort of a like Wilhelm with a Doppler. A mumble. Listen, I get it. A lot of trans girls are very shy about their voice. Going from sweet lady to shouting like a construction worker 5 minutes before lunch just to shout across. Exactly. I struggled with it when I was starting. Because it would be very much, hi, how you doing? Hey, I need you to do something. And it doesn't work. It makes you feel worse. So things like working on your pitch can help you feel better getting to where you want to talk. I'm trying to think if any of my students are in chat and remember anything I've told them. That would really be appreciated. You know, there is one more thing, actually. And this is probably one of the most useful things. A few of my students, you've seen this before. I should have remembered to bring this actually up on screen. This is a speech and hearing website that I use to measure pitch. This is actually just very good for what we do. I will set this up in a second so you guys can actually see it. Da-da-da. Driveway creeps, yeah. Yeah. So, Where is this? I can't pin that. Hey, Gwen, if you're in chat suite, please, sweetie, can you please pin the website for me? I would really appreciate that. Let's see. I apologize, I really should have brought something like this up. There we go. It's big. So, I can move all that over. It's not necessary. So, dead voices to hear the VC say, "Oh, who that?" Exactly. So, hopefully this shows. Good. So, this little website lets you mark your pitch, as well as figure out where you need to be and where you should be. You have 3 main settings here: man, woman, child. Typically, you don't need child. Unless you're doing stuff for a child thing, you don't need it. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty great day, Vaultman. So I always set it to woman, because, you know, I'm a girl. Once it's done that, so you can, when you're in configuration, it'll show you typically where your pitch should fall. Typically, a low frequency pitch for women will be about 150. The high will be about 300. I have a friend like that. She has a fully trained voice, but she's naturally deep booming. Exactly. I do that a bit too. It's fun. Oh, hello, anime dude.
_dude just became a goon.
Welcome in. We're just doing a bit of voice stuff right now. So this will automatically measure your stuff for you. So once you set it, all you have to do is just click run, and it'll show you on the side here where typically your voice will be. So, like, typically, this is where I more normally talk. And as you can see, I am all over the place, but I am falling easily within the spectrum of pitch. I'm falling exactly where I need to be to match feminine pitch. And this is why I really recommend this website, because it gives you, like, a really good idea of where your voice should be. Like, you see, I went under. And it just gives you a whole timeline of where your voice is. This is live to show you where your pitch is. I strongly recommend this. It is a great way to learn exactly where you are. Jumps. What do you mean? You don't like it when I just change the voice like this? When I go a bit deeper, lower my resonance a bit? Just kind of do this a bit? No, you don't like it? So silly. Need a jump scare. Listen. No. So. Everyone's freaking out about that because I can go so. Like, I can move my resonance and pitch so much lower. It's all about practice. And I know a lot of you can do it if you want to. Oh, hello, Cal. It's still really feminine when you go lower pitch. Well, that's the thing. I wasn't changing my resonance. So that's the thing about changing pitch. You can change your pitch and still sound feminine if you've changed your resonance. Which I guess is a good part to move on to. Resonance. Save myself a little bit of internet. So, a lot of you are probably asking, what even is resonance? 150 to 400? Hey, not bad, Shala. Pocky makes everything easier. It's true. That's fair. That's fair chance. Also, thank you for pinning the thing, Gwen. So, the next big thing is resonance. And I will say to a lot of people, this is typically the hardest thing to change. So, resonance, very, very simply put, is where you speak from. Pitch is how high or low you speak.
You're cute, bitch!
Duh. Resonance is where you speak from. It's been very said. It's been very said. It's been said very bluntly, I should say.
You're cute, bitch!
Duh. That typically, masculine people will speak from their chest, where feminine people will speak more from their throat. Sounded like a lady trying to do a guy's voice when not switching the voice settings properly. Yeah. So, ow, that was my wrist. That was my wrist. Don't get old, everyone. Don't get old. Don't do what I did. Also, hello, Erica. Oh, thank you for the follow, Erica.
Angelo just became a goon.
Oh, and hello, Paige. I will say, if you want someone who does amazing voice work and has done amazing with their vocal training, check out Paige. I think I sound great. Paige is amazing. Too late. Hello, Rosalia. It's does speaking from the diaphragm give you a softer voice? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know those specifics, but I could imagine. You all came in at a very fun time. We have actually just finished covering pitch, and we're just moving on to resonance. The big three I'm covering today, just because this is a very introductory course. This is not going to be a series. I'm not that good to do a whole series. We are covering pitch, resonance, and elocution. So, we're on to resonance, which I would argue is probably second hardest. Point redeems broke. Oh, great. That's always fun. So, as I was saying, resonance is a lot of where you speak from. Very simply, typically it's usually chest or back of throat. It can be very hard. This is one of the hardest active things to change. Speaking in a higher pitch can be something you really have to focus on, but speaking in a different resonance is something you have to force yourself to do. It will take a lot to make it feel more natural. I'm trying to think, like, how was I taught how to do this? And Paige, please, if you have any input, please let me know. Hello, Ayumu. Welcome in. For us 9 intelligence folks. What's that mean to the layperson? That's fair. I should have started with that. So resonance is typically... I can already feel it being off, so I get that. Exactly. Resonance is more where you talk from. So, like, if you talk from your chest, you tend to have a more... Your voice vibrates more. Typically, you speak a bit lower, you speak a bit more bassy. It tends to come across more like this. Even then, this is not as deep as I could go. I've been trying all week to get my resonance back down, and I've been struggling. This isn't... I can go... I can go much lower, but it's figuring out how to do that, because I've been doing this for so long that I've been trying to get back outside. Kind of. Because it's not necessarily just your outside voice, it's... You want it to be your basic voice. You want it to be where you're talking from. What helps is dribbling your lips, like making a motorboat. That's actually very good, Shala. I was just about to talk about that. Points for Shala. So, a good exercise. That's fair. A good exercise. Waking up in the morning, 100%, exactly. That's actually very good, Erica. Your first thing in the morning, that will be your basic voice. You don't get extra credit. No. Not you, anyway. Shala gets it. So a good way to test your resonance, and this is what my vocal training did for me. You need a straw. You need to make this a YouTube video for all us girls. I mean, if people want it, it'll be edited. I don't know if people want me to be teaching them vocal training professionally. Before I get distracted again. So, a good way to test your resonance, you'll need a straw. Just a straw. Ideally, you don't want like a bendy one or anything go stupid with the curve in it. You want a straight straw. You're going to want to put it in your mouth. And that's important. Don't put it anywhere else. It won't work. And all you need to do is hum. Because if you feel a lot of, I'm trying to remember this. If you feel a lot of vibration through the straw, you have high resonance, which is good if you're trans femme. If you don't feel a lot of vibration, that means you're more speaking from lower, more your chest, very chesty speaking. Which is, if you're trans femme, again, that's not what you exactly want. You want a much higher resonance. You want to speak higher, so that there's a lot less vibration to your voice. The humming is a great way to do it. I found the straw is much easier to keep track of. Exactly, Zori. I love, because my chat's grayscale, those don't work too well. They don't look how they're supposed to. Also, I need a drink. I have been talking a lot. Okay. Okay. I'll take another. I keep my hand down this time. Chat to screen is like corporations when Pride Month takes over. Exactly. I don't dare use any cards for reverse Monopoly. Well, thank you, Bardrin. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing a little bit of vocal training. I had distraction pop up. No worries. So you just want the straw in your lips. Typically, you want the end where you typically drink. No worries. Yeah, it's just glue? I don't know, it's water. What's wrong with all of you? Sure. Yeah, I drink glue. Okay. So. You know what? I'm surprisingly one of the few rubber hose VTubers that ink has nothing to do with my lore. So resonance can be a very hard one to change, because typically you need to figure out where you want to talk from and where you want to go, because you need to figure out exactly how you want to sound. Because here's the thing, as I've discussed, you can have a low pitch, but a high resonance, and still have a feminine voice. A lot of it comes down to resonance. It is one of the hardest, most active, focusing things you need to do if you want to raise your resonance and have a more feminine speaking voice. We don't speak his name. Exactly, because the game was fucking broken. I'm trying to think. You know what? I have been going very quickly. Does anyone have questions? I acknowledge I talk fast. I got the accent. I'm sorry if I speak too quickly. Please, is there any questions? Take your time and type them out. Is tightness of the throat expected? At first, yes. You are focusing a lot of your muscles to try and raise your resonance. Over time, it becomes much easier because it just becomes your natural. Like, how I talk now, this is my speaking voice. I don't have to strain myself to talk like this. Over time, your throat and vocal cords will adjust and just kind of know. That's the bad wording, but they'll know that like this is how you speak. They will relax over time. We're not going to sing the molasses and potatoes song. Greg's not here. Greg and Wirt have gone. They're not here. Exercise those muscles, never skip throat day. Exactly. And I will say, I don't know exactly like other muscles. Muscle memory. Thank you. Thank you, Ayumi. That's totally correct. It's muscle memory. You're sort of right, Bippo. So your throat will change. Your vocal cords will shrink, I guess is the best way to put it. They will change. They will get smaller. They'll make less vibrations. Oh, hello! Hello, Tango. How you doing? Welcome in. I try, but every morning it's like puberty voice hits all over. It's just practice. It is just practice. And I guess, does anyone else have any other questions? Because I guess we can talk about practice methods. Exactly. They tighten, they get tuned up. If you're younger, like early 20s or even earlier, vocal training can have amazing results because your vocal cords are still, they're still hardening. If you're like me and start vocal training a bit later, I started vocal training about 28. You can still do amazing, but it'll take you a little bit longer. But you can absolutely do it. I know you can. Thicker, harder to stretch. Exactly. That's why starting HRT can have an effect on your voice. For some people, it's not a lot of change. Others, it is. See you around, sorry. What kind of space is good? Like, is echoing bad? What exactly do you mean? Like echoing of your voice? Or echoing, like, space where you're practicing? Is there a study guide? There's plenty of videos on YouTube you can look into. I started at 34 and a half. Hey, it's never too late to start. I know there's some people who say, oh, if you don't start vocal training before your 20s, what are you even doing? Screw those people. You can start this whenever you want. Just do it. Just do it. I live with my parents, so I can't practice around the house. I'm a lot older, so I'm very worried. Yumi, I promise you can change your voice at any time. Couldn't start before my 20. Yeah. As for your thing, Stace. Hello, how you doing, little bro? If you're driving around, a good way to practice, find a female artist you like who does music, clearly. Sing along. Try to match her. Singing is a great way to get both your pitch and resonance working a bit better. It genuinely is. Before stream, I spent the last hour just singing so that I could get my vocal cords warmed up, so that I could sound the way I do. Sometimes you just need practice. And sometimes you're just sick. Curse my taste in music being predominantly metal. I get it. Sometimes you need to branch out a bit. A good example is finding a vocal goal. Find a character, find a person who you love their voice and you want to sound like. For me, personally, it was a mix of Betty Boop and Harley Quinn. I wanted to sound like them, so I started. I love singing, so that sounds nice. It's really good. So go buy my favorite 80s Japanese city pop singers and sing along. Exactly! Try to match their pitch. Start by doing that. Match their pitch. Then, as you're doing your resonance practice, start singing with a higher resonance. Because you can start to change your voice and you're teaching your vocal cords. You're also, teaching yourself how to sing, which is a useful skill. Actually, it's not. It's very niche, but it's a fun skill. And exactly what I want myself to sound like. It's never felt in my brain. I can say little things in that voice. Exactly. As well, because I know a lot of people get discouraged with this kind of thing. The full on, I don't entirely know the science behind it. I'm sure someone in chat can explain it better. The voice you hear when you speak is not the voice that everyone else hears. Oh, hello, Irene! Welcome in!
You just became a goon.
Putting on a voice when re-listening to voice with software? You are. You are putting on a voice, Nia. That's how it works. You are changing your voice over time to sound like the person in the recording. That's what you're doing. Sometimes sorcery. Exactly. The voice, especially, I know this happens to a lot of trans girls starting early. You hear like, oh, my voice sounds so much deeper in my head. I don't sound great. Everything sounds deeper in your head. Goes through your bones and resonates up through your muscles into your earbuds. Exactly. It lowers the resonance. It sounds deeper in your head than it does to everyone else. A best way to do this kind of practice, record yourself. Like Nia brought up. Record yourself. See where you are, compare it to where you want to go, and change. It sounds deeper in the recording. That's fine though. Now you know, up. Now you know where you want to go. You are setting a goal. And I would recommend once a week, make a recording. And if you have the space for it, save them. Because in a year, you're going to look back on those and it's going to feel weird to hear how you used to talk. I used to sound way different than I do right now. And I don't have any of those recordings. And I really wish I did, because I would love to show those off right now. But I don't have them. So having some sort of record will help you feel better about all this. Conductive hearing. Vocal cords vibrate, makes the bones in your ear vibrate, top of information taken by your eardrums. Basically, you hear your voice twice coming right from it. Old VODs, that's a good, if you're a streamer, compare yourself to your old VODs from like 2 years ago. Partner points out how different I sounded 2 years ago compared to now. Exactly. Here's a big part of it too. You will not notice progress. Because it is such a slow progression that you will not hear it. It will take forever. You'll be doing it for like a year and still be like, oh, my voice hasn't changed. No. Ask someone. They will tell you that your voice has changed. Listen to old recordings. Your voice has changed. As long as you put in the effort, you can change stuff. Hold up in your ears and pushing them forward a bit, you can sort of hear your voice. Okay. I'm disabled, so I cannot try it? What? I'm sorry, what can't you try? I just genuinely curious. Much more articulated. Yeah, so that's a big part of it too. I didn't realize we'd be doing this for like an hour. I thought they'd be a lot longer. I suppose I could go over elocution, which is just how you speak. If people would be interested. I think I will open it up again. Are there any questions? Oh, yeah, no, you don't have to do the ear cupping thing. That's completely fine, Chala. Do go on. I will. I'll talk about elocution in a second. I just want to see if anyone has any more questions. It's a dirty term. Depends on the country. Elocution sounds painful. Honestly, I found it the hardest. It can be very painful. This is what it's like being a teacher. I'm just talking constantly. My throat's killing me. Yeah, it's great. Why don't we pay these people more? I just confused for a small child. They ask for my mommy every time. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take an attempt. Skeletons. If you'd like, I am trained more to teach trans women. If you'd like, I could try to give you some pitch and resonance lowering lessons. I can't promise it would be great, but it's something. You already talk constantly, you're a streamer. Yeah. It's great. This is why I don't do 6-hour streams. I wouldn't be able to talk afterwards. And I like talking. You're focusing on your voice a lot. Yeah, that's completely fair chance. Appreciate any help? Oh, absolutely. Hit me up. Hit me some DMs. Only reason I can do long streams because I'm quiet. Yeah, I fully get that. I don't have a very loud voice. I do a lot of audio stuff because I'm very soft spoken, but I talk a lot. Are there any more questions? I get called my mom over the phone. Listen, I fully get that too. Sometimes people just want to hear the mommy voice, and they don't quite know how to handle it on the phone. It's really funny. It's weird how I can just kind of turn that on, huh? Does anyone have any questions? I wasn't going to ask that question, Scarlett, but I get it. Doesn't really get tired for some reason unless I'm yelling. I get that. Oh, hello, Neo. You broke your all-in-one PC? Best of luck getting a new one. Be careful with that. What? You mean the mommy voice? I don't know what you mean. There's nothing wrong with the mommy voice. If it's okay to post samples into Discord? Samples of your voice? If you'd like to, yes. Wait, as long as you're okay with it. Bipple gets short-circuited by that? Yeah, she shouldn't. She shouldn't. I'm her sister. You shouldn't be getting turned on by your sibling, Bippo. That's weird. I need to train it. Listen, the mommy voice is a fun one because it's a low-pitch, high-resonance thing. And it comes down to elocution, which we'll be covering next, where you really focus on making sure that everything sounds properly and you're doing it exactly how you're supposed to. That way, when people ask you to say ara ara, you can actually say ara ara. Oh, hello, Ixalith. Welcome in. Oh, and hello, the Celestial.
The Celestial just became a goon.
Dropping a follow because you seem neat. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I like messing with Bippo. Okay. Well, I guess if no one really has any other questions, we can move on to elocution, which... What happened? Oh, nothing much. Simply just used the mommy voice that Bippo is ever so fond of. And I know a lot of my audience loves this too, but unfortunately, this isn't how I speak. I talk more like a cartoon character. Hello, Sora. Welcome in.
Prime just became a goon.
I love that people are joining in when I'm doing the mommy voice. Welcome in, Sora Prime. I hope you're having a marvelous day. Enjoy your stay, and welcome to the Goons. Imagine if that was the voice I did for streams. Imagine if that's the kind of streamer I was. I would have a much different audience. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay. Alright, I think we've all taken a nice little break. I would watch either. Listen, I appreciate that a whole lot. It's interesting. I can do the mommy voice without my accent. And it's fascinating to me. Mommy voice redeem when? Why, I don't know if anyone would actually want that. Love how your voice sounds like the femme robots from Fallout. Oh, the Assaultrons? No hostiles detected. Prepare to be killed. Voice crack. We'd still be here. I know you would, and I appreciate that. Okay. I stretched out. Let's start on elocution. So. That's the wrong thing. There it is. Wow, my logo just full on cover stuff. That's great. That's great. There we go. Your wall has several holes in it, huh? Okay, you freak. Let's see, let me move myself a little bit. It's easier to talk when I can actually, point to stuff. And I realize I can't actually point to stuff, and you guys can't see my mouse. So, on screen, I know this seems like complete gibberish. I promise you, this is actually very useful. So, great, now I don't know whose stream I'm watching. You should always watch me, I'm the boss. You should always watch me. I'm the boss. Femme voice and you can do both. You can be Femme Aussie. I like that. No, that's a fun name too. So, on screen might look like a bunch of literal gibberish. The cake boss. Yeah, I got cake. What of it? This might seem like a bunch of gibberish, but I promise you, this is actually for elocution. So elocution is the manner of how you speak. For English speakers, I should say. And I can't promise this will work for you, Nia. I don't know about Australian dialect. But in typical, North American English, you have a bunch of words that have you have a lot of women who speak with both elongated vowels and word connection. Is that intonation? I don't know, I probably got my words wrong. I teach this, not English. You're probably right. You're probably right, Shala. See you around, Roselia. So we yell at me when the vid goes up? Oh, absolutely. There will be the VOD, and ideally, since people apparently want it, there will be just an edited version at some point. So there are three intonations, a pitch thing. Fair? Either way, this is all about how you speak. Once you have pitch and resonance where you'd like it, or at least to a better place, you can start to focus on this. So the first two rows are vowel elongation. These are some of the better examples to try this with. We will get to word connection later. Intonation is the melody. Interesting. I should imitate that when I talk to start with. That's not a bad idea. In fact, my speech therapist did a very similar thing. For vowel elongation, they suggest kind of doing the stereotypical Valley Girl thing. Oh my god. Because vowel elongation is exactly what it sounds like. Eat. Is. Out. sat, soothe, made. It's elongating a vowel. Oh my god, it's a bitch to do. This is why I think this is one of the hardest. Because pitch and resonance, you are changing how you speak. And this is changing literally how you speak. This is changing your speech mode. Oh my god, I can't wait to go to the party. Exactly. Like soothe, made, shoe, tea, hey, stop it. Some of these are personally, I find very hard. Because I talk quickly. So elongating vowels doesn't work a whole lot for me. But for other people, it might. Like, it is the sort of thing that you do you. Really. You do what works best for you. You can get by with pitch and resonance without ever doing this. Because I will say this is like the end. This is the optional. You don't have to do this unless you want to. Like, it really is sort of just up to you. Oh my god, you look like the 4th of July. Exactly. This is the Aussie thing, but I start swearing when I'm trying to figure out the voice. Hey, whatever works for you. For real, a big part of it is do what works for you. What the hell is on the right there? That's from my image. I didn't realize that was on there. Does anyone have any questions about vowel elongation? I know I haven't gone into a lot, but really, it's as simple as it looks. It's harder in execution. You know, T, U. Valley Girl, but add a vocal fry for extra attitude. Exactly. E is out, sat, soothe, made, shoe, tea. I actually practiced my vocal train on swear words through the vowels and hard consonants. Oh, absolutely. You want a fun one to do with that? Shucklefuck. A lot of hard consonants in that one. A lot of vowels too. Plus, it's my favorite swear. How you doing, you goddamn chucklefuck? This is throwing me off. Oh, completely understandable. Like I said, this is more for like North American. I don't know how Aussies speak. Despite my impeccable Australian accent, I don't know how Australian people speak. If this is something they do, feel free to practice. If they don't. Oh no. The next one is one I still struggle with. Now, very acquainted with swears, given my now 2 stalkers. I'm sorry. I never met another person who says that. Here's the thing, I don't know what you're talking about, because my short term is fried. What would an Australian Valley Girl sound like? Well, you can watch Nia's streams to find out. It is interesting. So, if no one has any real questions about vowel elongation, I guess we'll move on to word connection, which this one can be a little struggling. Because again, for like, English-speaking masculine people, you tend to say each word as it is. What the hell? I will be right back. Well, that's always fun to get scam calls. Oh my god, where's the Vegemite? You hate it? No, listen, Nia, everyone's gonna love it. A scam. Yeah, I got a scam caller. I'm getting these all week. It's the same people. Also, I missed it. Hello, thank you for the follow, Stace. I really appreciate it. Scam likely. Oh, I wish. I want to get a iPhone, mostly just for VTubing. But it's still, I keep getting the exact same scammers too. Like, hey, we want to talk to you about vent cleaning. I live in an apartment. I don't handle that. The best part, the other day, I got a call from one of these scammers. We're doing a slight BRB. And they called me. It's like, hey, hello, we want to clean your vents. And I tell them, it's like, I live in an apartment. They hang up on me. I didn't hang up on them. They hung up on me as soon as I said I live in an apartment. Because they knew it wasn't going to fucking work. They want to sell you Bittles coin. Listen, that's almost what my channel points were going to be. I have never had a scammer hang up on me. I'm the one who hangs up. I'm the one who hangs up. Anyway. Valley Girls throw me off way too fucking much. Why? It's fun. It's fun, isn't it? They're afraid. Exactly. I mean, there's multiple other reasons to be afraid, but... Okay, we're back. Cracking my wrist, because this is my life now. Okay. Clipping that? Oh, dear God. Oh, no. I don't even know what's being clipped. Something that's just an extension of my power. So, one more time before I move on. Does anyone have questions about vowel elongation? You will do your voice lesions now. I will. I'll do it for you, Nia. Not right now, no? Wonderful. I gotta get that gamer posture. Okay. Hi, Paige. Thank you. I should hydrate? Okay. I'll take your advice. You know more than I do. I don't like that I have to make sure that my hand isn't getting tracked when I lift my bottle to my mouth, because I've seen that clip of the one VTuber whose hand just starts to go up, and I don't want that. I don't want that to be me. I love how you're waiting in place. Of course, I gotta do my teaching. What, you want me to just walk around the thing? No, I gotta teach. I got a job to do here. So, there's no questions about vowel elongation. You're doing great. Well, thank you, Paige. I would appreciate input, because really, I do look up to you, Paige. You have an amazing voice. Congrats on 1K. Yes, thank you. Oh, hello, Yomi. How you doing? Big respect for you doing this kind of thing. I appreciate that. I want to help out all my little friends. Voice lesions, ain't that just a newfangled sobriquet for vocal feminization surgery? I guess I'll talk about that at the end. Because, of course, for a lot of this, you could just get surgery, but we'll discuss that later. So, but happy congrats on 1K. Thank you! I really appreciate that. It's not quite as impressive as your nearly 3K, but, you know, I'm not going to be jealous. Wait, exactly. I'll get into that later, Lee. Let's see. This one. You know, I'll leave the whole thing on screen. I will put it back on screen, I should say, because I realized I don't want the whole thing. I want the exact, nope. I want the exact thing I'm taught, nope. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard. Big thing to remember is voices are a spectrum. Exactly. Find what makes you comfortable. Big hands. can't use your voice for 14 days, can't use it for up to 90. Yeah. I will discuss that in a bit. We're going to finish this part of it. So this is the ever fun word connection. Typically, North American women, at least from what my speech therapist told me, have this habit of connecting words, which is interesting because the very masculine way of speaking is you say each individual word. I'll be there soon. How are you doing? When are we leaving? I can't believe it. Whereas typically, you would more connect these words. So they kind of all flow as one big word. I'll be there soon. I'll be there soon. They all kind of flow into one another. This one can be a little tricky to understand. I like little Yomi. I like little dancing Yomi. What happened? Effectively, yes. Kind of shallow. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. It's amazing when you stop and think about this. How are you doing? It flows. When are we leaving? I can't believe it. A good way to think about it is like the last letter of one word and the first letter of the next one flow. Who is coming? Not who is, who is. What's happened? Who is there? When you slow it down, it kind of starts to make sense. The problem is being able to do this without thinking. Who is? Exactly. It's trying to get this to be a subconscious thing. You are changing the way you speak. How is? Who is? Exactly. No thinking. Exactly. You want to make this a subconscious thing so that this is just the way you talk. I'll be there soon. How are you doing? When are we leaving? I can't believe it. Who is coming? What happened? Who is there? Who is the amnesiac wizard? Yeah, they can't remember any spells. They need their spell book or they are fucked. Not even cantrips. Personally, I have found this to be the hardest. Mostly because of my accent. Anyone who watches my streams, anyone who's even here, probably understands I got a bit of a thick accent, amongst other thick things. So stuff like this is a little hard. Because I have been learning how to properly enunciate words forever. I even told my vocal trainer this when we started, like, I am struggling with this. I am an actor, and for actors, a big part is enunciation, pronunciation, making sure that you are saying something clearly and audibly. But that's not how people talk. It's a fascinating thing. These are some good practice lines. If you want, feel free to take a screenshot. I don't notice accents from anyone unless it's another Aussie. I feel like mine is a bit interesting because I don't hear a whole lot of like Boston, New Yorker, other streamers. So my accent sort of stands out. You're doing great work. Thank you, Paige. I really appreciate it. But feel free, take a screenshot of this. Save it for yourself. Practice these. Because these are helpful if you want to change your voice. Again, stuff like this. That's not the right thing. Stuff like this and stuff like the, all this. The vowel elongation. I would honestly say this is optional. If you have a way of speaking that you enjoy, stick with it. If you want to change it so you do speak, again, in a more North American way, here you go. I blend my words together normally. I actually gave myself an N-word scare when I rewatched old video of mine. My boyfriend, okay. Okay, that's an interesting thing to say. Even in the New York area, there's a load of multiple dialects. Every borough is slang. Exactly. It's all about enunciation and finding what works for you. Like I said a bit earlier, find a vocal goal. Find someone that you like and you want to sound like, and just start trying. And try different voices. Because you might not find the one that works for you. And sisters, I said, I like your. Exactly. That's a very good one, actually, Shala. I like your. It works. That gets your point across and also does the elocution. I'm probably using the wrong word, but it gets the point across. It makes you do the word connection. Exactly. Anyone, if you want advice, take it from Paige. Feel comfortable. Feel comfortable as yourself. Because that's really what it all boils down to. Your happiness comes first. Whether it's vocal, physical, or anything else. Don't forget, trans girls, an essential part of your voice training is also being able to do a sonic impression. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's completely right. Each and everyone is different. That's why I always suggest find a vocal goal. Find someone you want to sound like, you want to talk like. And it's great. I've already mentioned, I wanted to sound like Betty Boop Harley Quinn, and I did it. It's part of the gift basket when you come out. I can't. Okay, so I guess I'm not a real trans person. I can't do a sonic voice. I get made fun of for this by other trans girls. I can't. I just can't. It's a weird feeling when I can't, and everyone else can. Stretching. Yes. I know I went over it very quickly. I am now going to open the floor because we got about a half hour. Please, any and all questions. Sonic voice is too fast for human ears. That's good. This has been very helpful. Thanks for the stream. I appreciate that. I wanted to come into Trans Awareness Week, ending my streams at least, with something that I can give back to the trans community. Because I can't give a whole lot back. I do art, I watch other people's streams. That's about all I can do. So at the very least, what I can do is try to help other girls sound exactly how they want. Or at least close. I'm not reading that, Shala. Great what you're doing. Well, thank you, Yomi. Raven and Starfire, is that weird? No. Not at all, actually. You have vocal goals. I will say, be careful choosing children, because, their voices are still deepening. So you might set an unrealistic high expectation of, I want to sound like this teenage character. And it's like, yeah, but you're not a teenager. And their voice is going to change. Even, I know they're like late Teen Titans, like 17 or whatever. Like, the voice still changes. The voice is still changing at that point. But yes, just find a vocal goal. It's amazing how just having a goal can really change things up for you. Oh, I thought Raven sounded 25. That's the fun thing about, like, Tara Strong. She can do, like, the little Bubbles voice, and then the Raven one, and they're supposed to both be kids. It's like, Looking into who does the character voice and look at their other works. Exactly. That's a very good idea, Paige. Find a vocal goal, and then look into it. Find who does it. I will say, be careful. If you want to do voice acting, absolutely look into voice actors and their other roles. If you just want to talk a certain way, it's completely fine to just model yourself after one of their characters. I like Tara's. Well, I don't know if I want to say that anymore. She's done a little bit of not okay stuff on Twitter, Um, I appreciate Tara Strong's work. I don't want to sound like her. I can respect what she's done. I can respect her range. I had a doctor try to tell me, oh, this will take 40 years, so much could go wrong during surgery. 40 years? No. That's just wrong. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Shala. My understanding, typically HRT for most of the physical effects will take place in about 5 years, give or take. But it's a lifetime thing. But yeah, that doctor's a quack. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. That's complete garbage. You know what? I think the lesson's done. I still got a half hour. We're just gonna turn it to just chatting. I've only been at HRT since last year, and yeah, my current doc is an awesome person. I'm glad you found someone better. I grew up in a place that was very transphobic, so I couldn't start HRT until much later. But yeah, it's good to find a good doctor who actually wants to help you. I mean, we wonder where the line is. If no, that's fair. You don't know, Yomi. There's no such thing as too old. You can start HRT whenever. You can do surgery whenever. Just for surgery, just know like your body will take longer to recover from late. If you do surgery later in life, it'll be much harder to recover from. Much harder was not the right word. It'll be hard. It'll be longer for your body to recover from a surgery. Everyone's different, but I knew some of the chest growth didn't happen until 7 years in. Yep, I know that feeling. But yeah, you had said it earlier, Lee. Most reach the major changes from medical HRT 3 to 5-ish years, with many noticing 2 years. Yeah. My specimen before I started gave him the thumbs up and he drugged me. Hell yeah. That's the funny part too. I love that that's the donation thing is an optional thing, because yeah, it's like maybe I want kids. I don't. But maybe others do. And that's always funny to me. Going back slightly to your thing, Yomi. There is never such a thing as too late. I know there's a bit of a mentality with some younger trans people that if you didn't start before your 20s, why bother? Fuck that. You can start whenever you're comfortable, whenever you're safe, whenever you can afford it. Whatever your reason for starting, it's completely valid. What makes you happy? Strive towards your happiness. Exactly. That's the big part of it. Do what makes you happy when you can. If you are in a place where it's not safe for you to transition, maybe no. If it is, and you can't afford it, save up. If everything's in place for you to start, what's stopping you? I just felt like I wasn't the professional. That's completely fair. I can appreciate having an ally like you, Yomi. And I appreciate you as well being, I don't have enough information to answer this question. That's completely fair. I wanted to start 16 years ago, but couldn't. Hey, you're not alone, Shala. I knew I was trans when I was 16. Not 14, much earlier. I couldn't start until I was 28. And now I'm hot. I'm absolutely gorgeous. Like, a lot can change. Yeah, I know many who got to 60 before transition. Almost all say it would lessen, but it never did. Yeah. No. You can start whenever. Guess in 7? Yeah. And it happens a lot. You gorgeous, tell me your secrets. A lot of skincare. A lot of skincare. I won't lie as well, HRT does a good amount of that. HRT is a fun age slowing procedure. Didn't Caitlyn Jenner start at 60? Give or take, yeah. Oh, absolutely. As well, Lee. Medical transition isn't necessary. It'll just help for certain goals, but it's not necessary. Until a couple years ago, I haven't made much progress towards my goal, but I hope to bloom in the next few years. Exactly! I didn't know what the word meant. That's I noticed too. I was the exact same way, Nia. I was like 14. As far as I was concerned, transgender didn't exist. That wasn't a thing that existed where I grew up. I was called a tom girl growing up. That was my life. And then I got to like high school, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring in a transgender person." Oh, hello, Skinny Quinny. Love the name, by the way.
Just became a goon.
No matter what, many wonder if they started earlier. You had your reason to not do it earlier. Do it when you're exactly. You do it when you're safe. Do it when you can afford it. Do it when you can. Estrogen has made me a lot less greasy and my body hair grows slow tremendously. I fully get that. I'm on a hair medication because despite my model, I don't have a whole lot. And I've noticed it's jump-started my body hair growth again. So that's fun. Hopefully that's not too personal. Appreciate the lesson. Thank you. I hope it was actually useful. I'm not quite the teacher that some other people in chat are, but I tried. Thought I was more on the non-binary side. That's interesting to me. I know a lot of trans people who will go to like gender fluid non-binary before deciding if they're like he, him, she, her, whatever. With me, it was immediate she, her. I have never questioned it. And it's interesting to hear. Catholic guilty and wanted to drop 80 pounds first. I completely done it. I completely get it. Oh, thank you, Paige. That really, coming from you, that means a lot. Since a kid, so definitely question things since my 20s. I get it. I have to go. No worries. See you around, rats. And again, for anyone who's lurking, or anyone who came in late, the VOD will be up, I think, immediately after. So no worries. Hair medication. I may or may not need this information. I'll just write it out. So I'm probably spelling this wrong, but you can probably look it up. I take a funny little medication called minoxidil, which helps with my hair. I've actually seen incredible results. So if you're the kind of trans girl like me that's maybe a little less on top, ask your doctor about it. I really suggest it. I'm on that too. It's in my shampoo. I take a pill. I have edible minoxidil. Do not exactly. Thank you, Paige. You are bringing up a lot of stuff I've forgotten. Don't overdo it. Do not spend an entire day doing vocal training. A half hour at most a day until you start getting into it. Tell you about things rather than assume how things are. Exactly. There's a lot you can do. I see my hairline with bedhead. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're completely right, Paige. I once spent an entire day doing vocal training. I was forcing myself. Couldn't talk for the next day. It sucked. You needed something to help you stop procrastinating? I appreciate that, Skinny. Or Quinny, which would you prefer? A fun song. What matters is consistency. Exactly. It is a daily thing. Take breaks. And I understand as well that some people are not exactly in a household where they can actively voice train. If you're old enough to, I hope you're old enough to be in my streams. If you're old enough to drive, practice your voice in the car with no one else in the car, of course. Known for quite a while. Oh, well, glad to meet you, Skinny. Quinny. Yeah, no, that's right, Beppo. How many practice on there? Exactly. Practice on the car rides. Sing along to the radio. Do the scales. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do those. Do them when you can and when you're safe. I'm trying to think. I didn't realize my fingers would actually be trapped when doing this. Car training. For me, it was for NPCs for D&D. Absolutely say, car voice training is a blast. I meant to talk to you about that, Yomi. I am glad to hear you're into D&D. I might need to talk to you about some stuff. But yeah, practice voices, especially if you want to do voice acting. If you know you've got like a role coming up, practice. I got this one girl. Katya Discordia, pleasure to meet you. She is my absolute dear and doll, and I love speaking as her. She's got this fun flair to her that I need to practice or I can't quite do it right. She is my baby, and I love doing her voice. Oh, thank you, Yuba. Always appreciated. It's practice, 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 practice. Many do Twitch streaming. For real. Streaming has helped my voice so much. I wish I had started streaming sooner, because it would be great. Practice daily until you can do it for longer periods. Then you'll eventually act like Goku and Gohan, keeping it up. You can get better at it. For real, I can just talk like this 24/7. This is just my voice. I no longer have to do... I should do practice, but I don't have to do it to get here. This is just my speaking voice. And for anyone curious, because it comes up a lot... It's cute. It comes up a lot. I don't use a voice changer. I use something to give my voice a little bit of static. But this is how I talk. I get a lot of people that think, hey, you must be using something to raise your pitch. No. Can I be real? I don't hide it's just something that came up, but streaming is actually voice training. I can completely get that. I use it too. Also, I should mention this. I do take students for like one-on-one voice training lessons. Yomi, if you ever want anything, hit me up. Started VTube and I used a voice picture, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using a voice changer, using a voice picture, changing your voice at all. What makes you comfortable is all that matters. 30 minutes at most. I don't do strong into practice while streaming. Here's the thing. I've been tempted to do more VTubing trance stuff, and I figure a fun one could just be doing more like pitch practice and trying to get higher, or even doing the thing where like I lift my larynx and get even higher to a much more cartoony degree, except I start to black out, so I can't do that one for long. We'll have a good talk. Exactly. We're going to have a nice bit of tea. I don't know why that was the hand motion I did for tea. It's going to be great. I have a sneeze coming on and I hate this. I can feel it. And it's going to bug me. And it's not coming. I'm going to hate this. I can fucking feel it. I hate this. Okay. How much? 20 minutes. Oh, exactly. It's the bullshit. I can feel it there. I don't want to... Well, thank you, Ixalith. Now I have boogers on my face. I don't know why I trusted you. I don't know why I trusted you. You have led me astray after everything I've done for you. Why? You had your best shot. Now I'm going to take mine. That's fair. Hello, Scott. How you doing? No, I didn't wipe it. What? That came through, didn't it? That weird noise I just made came through, didn't it? I hate masking up and then sneezing. Oh, absolutely. That is a horrible feeling. Great. That'll be a fun thing. Um, yeah, just I wear a mask constantly. It's both for my physical well-being, as well as the fact COVID's not done. I don't care what the news says; it's not done. So there will be times where it's like I'm in a rush, I'm doing shit, a bunch of dust gets in my face. I put the mask on and immediately just, and I feel horrible. I feel disgusting because I have now just blown nose mucus everywhere. And I don't have time to change my mask because I wear cloth ones because I like how they look. So I am just covered in my own liquids. And that's usually Bianca's job. I shouldn't say job, that's more Bianca's thing. She's covered in her own liquids. I'm gooey. Listen, it happens. It happens to the best of us. You think the queen of the world doesn't sneeze into her hands and mush it on her face? Of course she does. She's a freak. We're all freaks. Hey, what? What? What, Yomi? You mean, are you curious about Bianca? Yeah, I don't think she's even awake yet. She's been having a bit of a bad time. I am spelling this completely wrong. Let's make something for added for protection. Exactly! Exactly, Flugel! She's been having a bit of a rough time. Y'all could go follow my wonderful little sister. I think she'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to think. Is there anything I said I was going to cover that I didn't? I'm pretty sure. Also, I'm pretty sure I changed it from special events to just chatting. I don't know when that changed back. Queen Lizzie shooting snot in her grave. Thank you. Thank you, Gwen. I really appreciate that. That's gross, but I appreciate it. Yeah, you're gross. It's not right. No. Use a tissue. Genuine, if you're the kind of person that uses thank you, Flugel.
Fancy_Flugall just became a goon.
If you're the kind of person that uses like a handkerchief and you just shove that shit back in your pocket, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to know that your pants are full of boogers. You're disgusting. Use a tissue. Throw it out. You're gross. Just don't. Bianca's great. Bianca is amazing. Don't talk. Yeah, exactly. Your dad uses a hanky? I don't like your dad. I'm being honest. I don't like your dad. He's full of boogers. His pants are full of boogers. I don't want to deal with him. Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're fine, Flugel. You're fine. That's completely fine. What a fitting song. Actually, no, it's not. This song is not about that. If you have a used tissue in your pocket purse, you're probably a parent. Throw it out! Don't put it back in your purse or pocket. Throw it out. There's garbage cans everywhere. There's no excuse. Don't jam the boogers back into your pockets. I am not hearing other opinions on this. I refuse to listen to other opinions on this. I am playing my toxic fan base card right here. No. I'm not. No. Yeah, eat the tissue. That's how Bippo became green. She just kept eating them. And it works. It works for her. Look how popular she is. You think you get that popular without eating that stuff? No. I don't do it, but I also have, different assets. Listen, I know why you're all here. Not that popular? Okay, Little Miss 1.5k followers on Twitter despite never streaming? Sure, whatever you say. You are a goober. They could have eaten that's... You do raise a good point. It's a good point. What am I going to do with that information? What a good thing. Twitter does not count. Are you sure, Nia? You got more followers than I do on Twitter. You sure you don't want it to count? I think you should let it count. You know what? Speaking of counting, this is purely because I'm curious. Is it gonna load? What? Okay, there we go. 1048. Wow. I only just got 1,000 like 2 weeks ago. We are halfway to 1,100. Amazing. Still not fair? Okay. Still not counting it. That's completely fair, Nia. You do you. Deserved. You don't care how many. Listen. No, for real. Numbers don't matter. What matters, really, is how entertaining you can do. What? What did I... What? How entertaining you can do? That's not words. What the hell's wrong with me? You deserve 1 million? I do. I'm not going to be narcissistic like that. But for real, I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. We're almost done. Too much talking, words failing. I'm going to talk about this for a second. Because I've been talking to a bunch of people. The big part about being a streamer, I would argue the important part, is being entertaining. Entertaining or engaging, whichever. There are way too many streamers who think that just sitting there and not talking is gonna make them have an audience. You need to be engaging. You need to be talking. You need to be interacting with your audience, not just on Twitch, mind you, on other forms of media. Even I'm still bad at that. Entertain, make friends, you're a tune, move. It's even not just for VTubers, like live action people too. They will just like sit there, hands by their sides, like this, and they will just they'll just sit here with like no expression. Not even, you know what? Not even like a passive expression. Just and it's just that for hours. And I cannot deal with that. I can't stand when I see VTubers stand still or not trying to bring out their mouth. Exactly. We're just bots with AI. Exactly. Learn how to talk more. Social anxiety carries. Listen, Ayumu, I get it. It's... You have to try. I know it can be scary. A big part is, remember, your audience is there because they already like you. If they didn't like you, they wouldn't be there. You need to be engaging. Thank you, Shala. Finally got it working, huh? Playing games in the stream because I come very mind blank only when playing game. I get that. I go quiet in menus and loading screens. It's hard to talk about things. That's when you just talk about like your day, whatever's on your mind. 2 bits. It can be great. Get redeems like that one that make you interact with the audience, that make you say things. I'm looking to add a lot more. You need to be entertaining. At the end of the day, you are an entertainer. Not stop talking? Well, here's the thing though, Bippo. That's also not right. It's okay to have silence. It's okay to not talk. If a cutscene is something is happening, it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to have a comedic pause. It's okay to just not talk for like a minute. It's completely fine. Thoughts on 3D printing? It can be fun. I want to do it. It's just getting the machine. I got a bunch of stuff I want to make. Yeah. I don't know why I went on this tangent. I'm just very passionate about VTubing and streaming. You need to be entertaining. Especially in the VTuber sphere, you need to be moving. PNG tubers, you have an excuse. You're a PNG. All you do is like you do very minimal movement. Although granted, there is that new like PNG tuber thing that gives you a lot of animation. But like if you're 2D, live 2D I should mention, or 3D like I am, move. And listen, I get it. Not everyone's gonna have hand tracking. Not everyone's gonna have hand tracking. Sometimes you're kind of just gonna be like this. You still need to move. You need to use your head. You need to emote with your face. You need to move. You need to express yourself with your body, with your head. Yeah, maybe you can save up a bit of money and you can get these. You can get hands. What if they're 2D but 3D at the same time? I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like, it's probably cool. Worried about migrating to PNG because I won't be able to move. Yeah, it is one of the downsides, but granted, personality is what matters. I built a lot of my audience being a PNG tuber. Granted, I built the majority of my audience moving to 3D, but you can do a lot with a PNG. I know one person, Nico McGoat. I think they're going through a rebrand now. I don't know if that's still their name. They are a PNG tuber that is on the verge of partnership. Personality carries you. A model will bring people in, you will keep them. I'm a good example of this. I am not traditionally a beautiful VTuber. I don't have big boobs. I don't show skin. I don't do any of the traditionally attractive stuff. But I like to think my personality is charming and keeps them coming back for more. Stuck in the picture frame? Listen, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Be very creative with a PNG. Exactly. Or I would flip between. Exactly. Especially for PNG tubers, have a bunch of them. I know there's that VitoTube or whatever that gives you a bunch of alternates that you can do. Set them to keybinds. Have a happy one, an angry one, a sad one, a scared one. Yeah, it's probably more money or more work, but do it. Schedule consistent communication and bring your audience along with new things and bouncing off them. It goes well. Yes, and exactly. Like, you are the show. You are the entertainer. You are the reason people are here. What's under the gloves? More gloves. At the end of the day, and this applies to every streamer, this isn't just a VTuber thing. You need to be entertaining. You are the person. And yeah, Yomi is completely right. You need consistency as well. Communication. I constantly talk on Twitter. I'm trying to be more active on Blue Sky, because I kind of like that one a bit more. But you need to be consistent. You need to talk with your audience. Bigger gloves. Yeah, I just kind of mushed them closer. But this was a stream. Just block the entire stream with just my hands. It'd be garbage. As well, a big part. Let your audience do stuff. You guys adore throwing things at me. And I want to get more. I'm going to have it so like you guys can pop up images. I'm going to have a burpee. I'm gonna have Nita pop up so you guys can interact with her. Yeah, like this. It's a bunch of stuff you can do.
You're cute, bitch!
Damn right. Look how cute I am, scooting on my ass. I don't like how my feet touch my face. Can't wait either. I got a lot planned, and I'm looking forward to a lot. There's a lot of upgrades to my model that still need to put in. It's gonna be great. Okay, so we are done. We are done for now. Who is live? You know what? I adore this person. I've been meaning to interact with them more. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Has been paying protection money for 2 months.
I appreciate that. Hope to see your edited version on YouTube or something. It probably won't be for a while. Although, granted, if this is popular enough, maybe I'll throw it to my editor to do before other stuff. I got distracted immediately by that. How long have they been going? 3 hours? Okay. Some of you might know. That threw me off. This was a lot I needed to hear. I'm glad. I hope this has been very useful for a lot of people, for a lot of trans people, and as well, I know there are some cis people in stream who really wanted some help getting more high pitch or higher resonance voice. I'm going to start this raid before I forget. We are going to be raiding the amazing Nora Lazarus. Absolute sweetheart, amazing voice, very sexy accent. Don't worry, Looney, there'll be a VOD. Exactly. I'm sorry you missed it. There will be a VOD. It'll be like a 2-hour VOD. It's not too much, and it will be cut down into a video. Otherwise, I'm going to be live next week. I don't know how much is going to be on my channel. I'm actually doing a bunch of collabs next week. So I'm going to be live just on other people's stuff. Otherwise, I'll be around tomorrow on Gwen's stream. We'll be doing some more Dead Island. It's going to be great. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you all have an amazing day. And I'll be seeing you around, goons. Show Nora some love. She absolutely deserves it. She is playing Liza P. So I would appreciate if you guys could give her like a follow. Show some appreciation. If you don't want to get spoiled, it's okay. I understand. But yes, this has been a lot of fun. I love you all. Thank you all for coming out. Goodbye, everyone.